Whoops. Wow, their face is supposed to be there. Okay, let's start this over again. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Today we're going to do Bitcoins. We're talking about Bitcoins and E-coins and pump fun and things I like, things I don't like, things I learned, things that we can all learn, things that are sort of in the talk of the town and a bit of the news, stuff that's happening in the news, stuff that is complicated. What is it? What is it? How does it work? Where does it come from? What does it do? Why is it important to innovative potential? Why is it important to you? Why is it important to anything that why is it going to be able to buy you a basket of oranges? That's the real answer right there. So a lot of this kind of has to do with digital money and digital conversion of money and being able to have control over your banking at a personal level rather than being tied to a larger institution. The larger institutions aren't really going anywhere except for one. But with the advent of, so it's basically what kind of happens is a little bit of, this talk is going to be a little bit about history, a little bit about where we are, where we're going, and then how this like really kind of explodes into the future kind of thing, because this type of digital interaction is really only maybe 40 years old. It kind of comes about in the 80s. I know of it in the 80s. So we've always had ATMs. This is an extension of the ATMs, but it's now personalized because the personal security at the personal level has been made secure enough that the general system itself, the overarching like banking financial system, is able to handle individual level banking security. And a lot of that has come from improvements in cell phones. But it was always sort of there since the, log in on your PlayStation to, basically this has been able to work since about the 2000s because of the security technologies that were available in the 2000s. And basically what happens in the 2000s is the cell phones and the security protocol technology gets brought up to a level where your video games aren't necessarily hackable directly because of the multiple layers of authentication required to actually like log into the video game. And that goes hand in hand with banking and private security development. So we end up in a time frame. We go from 0 to 2004, we'll say 2003 to 4, 5, and then in this time period, online banking is really making a sort of a comeback kind of thing. Not a comeback, but basically. Not a, how do I want to say it? Not a comeback, but a growth. It's entering a position where it can be compressed into a program on a cell phone and still be able to offer you reasonable security, and that happens all at once with these two-factor authentication pieces. So this is just this is a two-factor authentication unit, and it's used for a Square Enix account. This has been available since roughly, let's say 2009, 2010ish, probably a little, maybe 2008, but it's in that ballpark there. And that's really where security sort of like collapses into, okay, here's a physical object that is able to offer you complete digital security, and it's cell phone compatible. So now you have two-factor authentication for security for logins that are available to the public. Just hasn't really been done with, how do I call that? It hasn't really been done with like the masses and stuff. So with the advent of apps and the iTouch, because the iTouch came before the iPhone, they're kind of like at the same time. But basically what happens there is all of the technology is moving into sort of the same direction. So that becomes something even easier to understand for everybody, because now it's all like, oh, my little small program on my handheld device can now act as a banking relay transmitter. So from there you end up with the next logical step, where instead of having to go through the bank to log into your bank account to transfer the money from your bank account via Interact or e-transfer, you're logging into your digital money stash directly without having to go through a banking institution. And that's sort of what's happening here, where the banking institution is being separated. So like the personal transaction level is being separated from the from the institution. And now the institutions are now operating as sort of the governmental bodies, agencies, lending agencies, more into the heavier financial. They've all sort of branched off, and like they've always offered financial products, but having the ability to remove personal banking from their large aggregate banking is going to make everybody happier, because the people have control over themselves, in the sense that, imagine this device being an actual digital wallet. It's not that far-fetched, but the money itself is actually on this device. It's not. This is just a random number generator with, yeah, basically it's a random number generator. And from here, you go and touch it. Yeah, it touches the, you know, when you make a transaction, you get the touch for your cards and stuff like that. It's all in that same type of family of stuff. So that's really what's coming around at the dawn of Bitcoin. So you have Apple, you have smartphone. In about 2009, 2010, you end up with smartphones. You end up with these two-factor authentication security dongles. You end up with Bitcoin coming out, which is sort of the, okay, well, here's the personal account. I can put money in the personal account. I can transfer personal account money via Interact and email and internet. So I can now have a digital wallet function as just that, a physical data crystal that says there is X amount of recognized dollars in it for purchases and whatever. So Satoshi Nakamoto makes some stuff, and it's basically sort of like worthless and useless for almost a decade, because it's kind of floating at the PhD data cybersecurity sector, where it's valuable. Yes, it's going to be like cool and awesome, but as the 20-year-old, when this comes out, you're kind of looking at it like, that's way too much. Like, this piece of equipment is still cheaper, easier, and more affordable to make, use, and work than what was proposed and the data structures that exist on top of the banking system. So Bitcoin isn't really worth investigating at that point. I went through the steps. We made a wallet, cashed it out at $300 for whatever in 2013, cashed out whatever it grew into, and sort of said, okay, it was important to test and learn how to do. Cashed out, moved on. So this talk is more about the technology, not the money, because I know cancer cure mechanism. It's not about the money. It's more about how technology gets adopted and like why wasn't it so jumped on at the start when all the video game technology people are just like, bam, yes, this is what it is. You don't have an option. Everyone gets their own personal bank account. No arguments. You're stuck with it. We've taken over the institutions. Everything is Bitcoin now. For anything global, everything is Bitcoin. So if you're doing international trade, if you're doing anything that crosses an international border, if you're doing something that crosses a state border, yeah, you're in Bitcoin already. Just because it's something that can handle the scales of volume without having 10, 15 comma places associated with it. I can do four Bitcoins worth of trade, and like I could still count on my hand how many tons of, like, I need 10 tons of copper, and I can pay 2 Bitcoins for 10 tons of copper. And I'm back to like, yeah, I'm a 5-year-old again. I can count to 5. I learned to count to 3 when I was 3. That's sort of the like, okay, that works. But it's now in the, like, the household levels where it's like, yeah, I can put all of my. It's more of like, are the people mature enough to be able to handle that type of security? It's like, no, that part doesn't matter. They all have the video games. They've all their accounts. It's not that the accounts are hacked or stolen or anything. It's more that people are idiots and they'll lose control of their stuff. So the way this is kind of going to go industrially is the banks are going to offer. The banks are going to offer. The banks are going to offer Bitcoin wallets as a product, but then have like accessibility backups to the Bitcoins themselves. So what's kind of going on there is like, okay, well, we're going to mediate your Bitcoin for you because you're a fucking idiot. And that's that. So now you have access to Bitcoin within your bank account, and you can transfer from your checking to your savings account to your Bitcoin account and back again. And that's kind of just going to be the absolute maximum for the entire planet. You're going to love it. Everybody else, on the other hand, on the tech and tech science and everything else, world side of it, they're pushing now these. If this was the wallet, then we're gonna make it. You're gonna add the beauty. You're gonna add the artistry. It's gonna be like, oh, here's my sleek card. Here's my collapsible. Here's my. This is my Bitcoin. Like that. Like you disguise your Bitcoin wallet as something cool, or a Hello Kitty keychain, or something like that, or a wristwatch or a Fitbit. It's finding where these like electronic e-wallets are going to fit in with your lifestyle and daily technology world, to show it's like people have those fancy watches. Well, they're going to make a Bitcoin e-watch as a collectible or as a functional piece of human, bracelet. Beep there, and we pay for it. We walk away. We don't really care. It's linked to the Bitcoin. It's linked to the checking account. It's linked to whatever. You just have to sit down for like an hour a month and do it. So that's sort of kind of what. Get out of this one because it's not really what I want. So that's kind of what's happening with like the world of Bitcoin there, and that basically sets this gap up between 2024 and 2009, 2014. So 2014 starts seeing that there's all of this that's where the meme, so the Bitcoin comes out and the blockchain, people wrap their heads around it, people adopt it, and then they start figuring out, okay, well now they're making their own meme coins and stuff like this. So in the 2014 era, everything we just took from 2008 gets flipped over into the meme coins. So now it's seeing what's a YTMND actually worth. And so these types of ideas are now in 2014, and they're building their own trading economy under the guise of the regular trading economy. Then that was the first half. That was the second halving of Bitcoin. So how the Bitcoin works is there's only 21 million, but it takes time to process and discover them all. Like it's Satoshi's name, Satoshi Ash Ketchum. It's like you got to catch them all, right? So here's 21 million coins. They'll all have a value, but it takes computer processing to discover them. And from there, you're going to have to be able to basically complete the set. So it's just Pokemon all over again, and you found the first 10 million, found another 5 million. Recently in 2024, we found an additional 2.5 million, so we're at like 17 out of 21 million of these things are found. And then we just keep going until like 2100, where they're all finally, all the decimal places are found. But because it's a currency and a storable asset, just like all the other meme coins, they're a currency and a storable asset. The value of them goes up the more people want to buy or turn their cash into something that is going to be stable long term as a percentage of ownership, not as a function of national dollar. So Bitcoin behaves as a tradable currency. So just like you buy a Great British Pound, or you buy a US dollar, or you buy a Chinese yuan, you end up with something that is going to have a variable value where you are in the world. And what's happening is Bitcoin is sort of standardizing that variation and letting the currencies have variation locally. So Bitcoin becomes this planetary currency, or is this planetary currency, and the national denomination locally has value against all the others. So all the other nations are going to fluctuate like crazily against Bitcoin, but you always have to sort of like buy the Bitcoin and keep the Bitcoin, because the dollars, if you go from the US to Canada to Mexico to China to Venezuela to Australia, that you're going to end up having these dollar production cost variations. That's a part of the nature of it, but it's also how gold behaves. So this is really nothing new, because gold behaved that way and fluctuated against all of the dollars together, because everyone was competing to have the most gold. Now everyone is competing to have the most Bitcoin. And that's where we saw these like large green bars come up, where people are buying more of the coins themselves to monopolize the value of the number of coins, because now you're able to monopolize the internet dollar. If the internet was a nation, it's a globalized nation, it's a diffuse nation, but this is how this dollar now functions. Not to say that other people can't mint and manufacture their own things, but because this is the first one, it is designed and structured to be a valuable currency, a valuable asset. It's designed to have a limited number, which means the value goes up. because it's able to sequester large amounts of cash that isn't going to be necessarily wanting to go into a mutual fund or able to go into a business or some other place. So it's going to get it's basically going to get like solidified into Bitcoin, and then it's going to stay as a Bitcoin, and then the value of that sequestration. So instead of the banks having, think of it this way, instead of the banks having a liability for a stack of cash in a vault, the banks themselves buy a bunch of Bitcoin and then never have to worry about a physical object ever again rotting in their vaults. So that's kind of how and why the fiat currency sort of works digitally in terms of how credit cards work, where it's like, well, rather than have 400 tons of dollar bills sitting in a bank rotting away, I'm going to burn them all and say that you own 400 tons of dollar bills. If you ever want them out, it's easier. If you ever want the full 400 tons of dollar bills, it's easier for us to just manufacture them again than to storage them. And that's really kind of what this has become. So now we don't even have to storage we don't have to storage that 400 tons of bills. We'll just, give you 10 Bitcoins or 100 Bitcoins or a million Bitcoins. Like, that's sort of how this is how this is now closing in on itself, and it's basically done. And that takes us to 2021-ish. I bought in 2021 again. I bought Bitcoin in 2021. It did its stuff. Part of that proceeds was used to buy the patents, and then I exited again. So it is something that you can hold it, but it's a form of cash. It can grow like cash. It's not going to be growing as cash. Like, once you have it, you set it and forget it. From going forward from 2024, it's a set it and forget it asset. You don't deal with it. You don't do anything else with it. You buy it. You buy your piece of it. You continually buy your little bits of it. But it's a set it and forget it. You never want to see it again until you're 80 or have to cash it out for your children's whatever. And if it's anything, it just becomes a hereditary. Bitcoin ownership is now a hereditable asset. You never sell it. But what happens now with those meme coins? So everybody now can issue their own currency, and how these markets kind of behave and how are they mapped out is that at first it was fun traders and niche groups that are saying, oh, well, here's Pepper the Frog, here's the guy who goes back in time, here's Batman, here's Catwoman, like all of these little things get a currency, and then you sort of bet on the popularity of the thing, and then it's day trading stocks 101. So it's just palette swap from business ownership to to popularity contest. How that behaves and how that did behave is basically, instead of a small number of people doing it, a group of people doing it and say, this is the thing that we are collectively going to promote because we like it, it's funny, it resonates with us, we're going to build additional industries off of it and keep funding money back into what these meme coin values are. And then these tokens are hosted on blockchains, which are other types of how is it? It's like the blockchain is the casino, the meme coin is the slot machine. So while not gambles, they are contests of statistics almost. And if you're not creating a souvenir coin or e-chip or something just to have in your wallet because it's for the visualization of it, then you're betting on a company or a stock. So if you're seeing stuff like Solana, or if you're seeing stuff like I think it's XRP, if you're seeing Dogecoin, a lot of Dogecoin is a meme coin. It's not a blockchain. It's not the casino. It's the casino game. Solana is the casino, and they're enabling and allowing people to be able to develop their own coins for exchange within their casino. So that's it's like the house versus the table, right? It's not to say that these things don't acquire value over time. It's just their behavior is not like Bitcoin. Their behavior is something different. Their behavior is closer to a stock in its graphical charts than it is to an a globally standardized internet dollar. So that's sort of what you're really wanting to look at, to invest in, is the global standardized dollar, and maybe one of the casinos if you're wanting to be like more investy kind of thing. But this is really sort of we're 15 years in on this. If there are any patents issued initially, they're almost coming due. They should be coming due by about by this year possibly. No, not this year. This is too early. By about 2030, 2035, around there. That's when these patents are actually going to be expected to come to be fully matured. And so if Solana has a patent on its blockchain behavior, or Ethereum has a patented blockchain type of behavior, then that's going to be sort of like free to the wind. So this is a good time to sort of investigate and look at these things as an investment, as a technology investment. Learn how to think of it more as just learn how to use them, rather than I'm gonna like rug pull. I'm gonna be rug pulling with the 10-year-olds kind of thing. No. Learn how to use them first, and then know what you're purchasing before you start getting into these hour trading windows. Because don't fuck up, because that's basically where we're at. We're at the don't fuck up. If you have, if you get $100, you have $50 like lying around, you want to like play with the meme tokens and stuff. It has a behavior. It has some stuff. I'm gonna talk about that in a second here. Whoop. So these are the meme coins. These are the Bitcoins. This is how this is working. So this picture here. So this picture here is basically like quintessential meme coin behavior. We did a DOGE, Department of Governmental Efficiency. It was a meme coin produced on the Photon platform. It's a Solana network coin. But basically, there are three things to this anatomy here. There is the buy-in, the plateau, and then the exit. With different conceptual things happening to make sure everyone profits, because that's the name of the game here. It's like no one's going to like there is a behavior, no one's out to just like fuck you, but it is when everyone wins, and that's sort of the mentality that's cultured within the meme coin trading groups. It's like if everybody wins, everybody wins. It's when people don't win and they get rug pulled that they get pissed off at the 10-year-olds thinking they're like hot shit. It's like, no. It's you trade this stuff to ensure that everyone wins. It's a very team. That's why you have these groups of people saying, no, this is how we behave. This is how we work to ensure that everyone in the group wins. It's not perfect yet. It's gotten perfecter, but it is a formula. There is a behavior. There's sort of expected rules and behaviors that are basically stemming from the stock traders, from the stock exchanges and the penny stock behavior traders, and now we're in the meme coin stocks. These aren't penny stock trading volumes, but it's still the same type. Like, don't fuck over everybody for yourself, because you fuck over everybody. That being said, that is why this shape has a behavior to it, so that nobody gets fucked over. Well, ideally nobody gets fucked over. You still have to go through the learning curve and understanding of what is actually going on here. So we're going to walk through this a little bit here. So right here, first thing you do is when you pick a meme, you look at, okay, what is it doing? So first off, when I picked it, when I chose this one to be my demonstration, is it had this nice huge big buy-in. So the person who was investing invested. So the group or whatever invested. And then I buy in way over here at this B. So all of this is just basically, okay, so this person is investing, he's investing, he's investing. He's saying other people are going to be investing, so I'm going to invest too. And then there's this sort of like dip where it's like, okay, well, the people who invested in right at the very beginning here are now up. Sort of, this is their local maximum. So now they're getting out because they've already made their money too. But they haven't all pulled out, and the big guy hasn't pulled out yet too, because this big huge chunk here, this is basically one person. You understand it as basically one person. It could be a group. It's one entity. So this one entity has to pull out, and if he hasn't pulled out by this red group sort of like reinvesting back in, then there's a not a false sense of security, but an actual sense of like, no, this person's also trying to not fuck over everybody, and they're wanting more. So this point in time at around 1800 is when I bought into this coin. I put money in, and this is mechanistically perfect for buying the dip. It's like as it's going down, and this is sort of where the gamble is, because you don't know what the other person's doing. You're going to hope that they're going to maintain, because they've demonstrated that for 2 hours they've been maintaining. People have gotten out, and that's sort of the risk. That's the risk of these meme coins, because the main investor could have gotten out. So I buy in, and then he dropped, and then he leaves. So I lose all my money. He didn't. And you can see the plateau continues on. So there's an average here that doesn't really move across here, and it stays flat. So the guy buys in, boosts the average up to a level where other people are now interested in it, kind of keeps it afloat. It might be bot trading, it might not be. Chances are this is just algorithmic bot trading. But the point is, the initial purchase, the plateau of stability, there is a dip demonstrated, and everyone's like, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. It's like, if you do one thing, you buy the dip. That's the swagger, that's the drip, that's all the memes come from buying the dip, because if you can, you're buying it going down, but it's gonna come back up, and you sort of maximize your wiggle room, your profit. So we did this perfectly. So it's gonna make like an N shape. It comes up, it goes down like an N, and then comes back up again relatively quickly. And when you look at all the other videos, YouTubes, people doing stuff and things, they're all doing the same type of mechanistic behavior here. You're buying the dip, and then we're going up to wherever. There will be multiple dips, there will be multiple behaviors, but because these are meme coins, don't expect these things to last more than 6 hours. This lasts 1, 3, 22, 11. It's like 11:30. 11:30 it stops and continues on, but it's basically it's like about 6 hours. So don't expect anything to be 6 hours, but you want something that's lasting for about 3 to 5, and always auto sell. You have to have an auto sell, because he doubles his money and exits in one sale. So you have to set up your automatic transactions to be so that you can so you can get up and go to the bathroom, basically. Otherwise, you're watching this thing waiting for, okay, where is your tolerance for exit and taking your profits. So basically, this blue line here is saying, okay, even though I bought in at the dip, anytime above this blue line, I have increased the value of the money I put in. So if I put in $35, I have now have $36, or I have 37, or I have 38, or I have 60. So for this video, I'm not telling you what I exited on. I doubled, but I'm not telling you what I exited on. Because this is a nice behavior. This is a school teacher behavior. This is the type of stuff you put in. This is why it's on our letterhead constitutional documentation, because when and if someone comes along and has to behave and be a part of this group or function, I still have to be able to teach my kids. I can't have idiots running around with this type of stuff and with this type of money. So I have to have concrete teachable examples that are going to exemplify the behavior. Now there's an artistry, and now there's some there's the magic of Allah and all of this, but because it's an international type of sphere type of thing happening. So I might be here at 6 p.m. living my 6 p.m. life, but the guy who did the investment is over here living at 6 a.m. So we might be doing the complete opposite of everyone. So you do have to have a very global position, sense of mentality of what's going on with who and how it works. So we got this working really wonderfully. Like, this is the free version. You cannot ask for a better time to buy. You buy in at the center of the dip, at the center of the plateau, and then you get this beautiful little sort of like butt curve coming around. It's a bit of a whale, it's a bit of an erection, it's a bit of a bust line if you want. You find something that you like that is curvy, and you follow it. This is going not quite, I wouldn't call it exponential, but it is doing, it's doing this and then coming up the curve. It's swipe up economics. So this is what you want to look at when you're doing this type of like small of the back curvature type of thing. You're looking at this and you're saying, okay, well, anytime from here onwards, I have made money. So you sell what you have and you get out, because this guy, you can't ask him to be there forever. So he's helping, because he did all of that. He's helping all of these people to do some of this. And then because he's been in there from the very start, he created something of value. We have also created value with him. We are leaving with our extra value, and he's going to leave with his extra value also. But you leave sooner, be the fastest. Take your double, take your quarter earnings, take your whatever, and leave. Get the fuck out. You know what I mean? Be the fast. Like, you set it and forget it, but you have to be the fastest, because you can't be greedy in this, because the person who's playing host, this person is playing host. Be a gracious guest. Thank him for his time. Thank him for his time here by sort of like playing around here. Go maybe halfway up, a quarter of your buying, you're in the profit zone. Take your stuff, get out, and leave. Because look what happens after the host sort of says we're closed. Well, after the host says we're closed, you get nothing. You're back down to, if you put in all this money here, your money is gone. You put in 50, you lost $50. That is the behavior of the meme coin traders. It's like, you lost, that's horrible, but you had the opportunity to win. You literally watched your winnings gone. You watched your winnings get vaporized. They're obliviated. They're gone. You're never seeing those electrons again. You know what I mean? But even if I had lost, it's like, I call it by the drip. I like by the drip. It's like it's like a gilded lily where something comes down and it's like it's coming off of something, but it's going to go back up into it's coming off of something, but it's going into something else. It's like how water drips. You want to find these little low points here, to be able to experience the growth. So, oh yeah, make sure to automate your selling to ensure that you can collect your profits. Automate, automate, automate. There's right beside the buy sell, there's a little automated thing. If it goes up 20%, you automatically sell. If it goes up 10%, you automatically sell. You get out. You keep your little bit of extra money. You make back your transfer fees, and you take that $5 and you go buy coffee. You take your $5, put it into your swear jar, and you take your initial investment, you take your principal, and you put it back into something else and do the exact same thing over again. Finding a coin that looks like this takes a while. Finding a coin that looks like this takes a while because you want to see this, because these are on second time scales. Yeah, this is a 1 second, 5 minute interval. So you want lots of trades. You want a big buy-in, lots of trades, and a little bit of a dip. So anytime it goes red to green, that's where you want to buy, not green to red. So this is nice. This is beautiful behavior here. This is stability. This is good. This is, because it's a stabilized step out, it's an exceptional behavior because it's indicative of these people here who sort of buy in at the beginning. So if you're buying in here where the cursor is, and then if you're buying in here where the cursor is, there we go. You're buying in here where the cursor is at the very beginning, you have already made money, and now you're saying, okay, you're doing what I'm saying here. It's like, okay, you take your money and you're leaving, they're not coming back to reinvest, or they might be. They're taking it could be a robot taking like pennies off the dollar, leaving, coming back, leaving, coming back, leaving, coming back. But the point is, it hit a localized high of over 10%. So anytime it goes over like 10%, this is where like the really conservative real estate, if it's over 10%, you exit. If it's under 10%, you exit. That's how like mutual funds operate. But you have to be within a, you have to be within a boundary limit. So if here's the lower bound and here's the upper bound, your average is here. And there are tools in the trading tool equipment that allows you to sort of like, here's a line. I drew the line in the equipment. So it's basically here's the lows and here's the max and the min, and this is where your average is sitting. So your average is going to fluctuate like this, but it's going to be stable over time, and that's what you're really watching for. Really intuitive, not obvious, but they're going to be intuitive average changes, volume purchases and sales against the average, that are going to say, if you see a set of sales that are violating a 10% against the average, get out. You can always buy back in, but take your stuff and get out, because you don't really know what that's going to do. So in this case, it's like nobody wants the average. So here's my buy-in. I waited out because it's still the proper trading behavior. It's still me doing all of these trades to basically say, here's a host, come into my party, we're gonna make some money together. These are the rules of behavior of making the money in this mechanism. So everyone has to leave before the mechanism happens. Otherwise, you end up down here just waiting out time, and you lose all of the value whatsoever. So we're trading at a 7.6 billion I don't know, market cap maybe. Yeah, this is a market cap. So this coin has a $5 billion market, $7 billion market cap. We buy in at a $5 billion market cap, and we make a little bit of money from our own, because you're only making money on your own investment. The guy who made the coin is making a lot of money, but we're making money off of our little investment too. And he benefits by having you make money. It's a everyone floats a high tide floats all boats kind of scenario. Because you're in his party too. You're now sort of allowed to say, well, I made money in Doge and I can be a prioritizer too. It's like a prioritiling or whatever. The word that I can't say, right? So, because I don't know how to spell it. Let's find out how to spell it. I'll find out how to spell it after. So basically, anytime after exit, because this is not normal. This is perfect trading style. Typically, what you're going to see is all of these green and reds start fluctuating in this above average, because now all of this average people have to get out, but this is being fed for imagery, and you can only do it so much until, you know what, that's it, that's the example. Thank you for everything. Thank you for paying attention. Show's over, doors closed, last call, boom. He's taking his profits now, and you kind of lose everything. And then everyone loses everything if you don't get out before him. So the fat lady sings and you're done. And that's basically how they all behave. Sometimes they go like, if multiple groups go in on a coin, this dramatic drop happens, but it doesn't drop to the very bottom, and it will start to tick up again. So as long as you're above your average buy-in valuation, you're gonna make money. So as long as you're over the water, you're gonna make money. If you're not, doesn't matter. If you're not, well, you can either hold it forever as a documented example of teaching, or you just lost money and you suck up and you move on. You take your money back out and you move on. That's trading. That's what it is. That's how oh yeah, it has a sort of like a triangle ring shape from the side. I'll switch back over then. So that's meme coin trading. And okay, so what is the difference between a meme coin and a Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a meme coin. Like, they're all meme coins. They're all currency. They're all electronic currencies. But Bitcoin as an electronic currency has been designed as a rare and valuable asset, like gold. So like gold trades, Bitcoin trades. You can make currencies with unlimited market caps and infinite inflation. Super hype. Dogecoin is hyperinflation. It produces another 10,000 coins every hour or something. There's never a limitation on however many coins you can have. Bitcoin only has a finite cap. Dogecoin has unlimited. So you can design coins for how you want and or expect different behaviors to occur. You can just have coins minted as collectible items because it's an ETF. That's sort of what NFTs are. You mint a coin, you make a picture at a certain set value, and that's it. And that's what we did at Innovative Potential. Swap over to the next one here. And that's sort of what this is at Innovative Potential. E-coins and tokens. If you'd like to make a donation to Innovative Potential, so take you home again. Our entrance. The donation buttons there, and basically here's our Bitcoin wallet and here's our Solana wallet. You can, if you've made it this far, this is the standard of the world. And if you'd like to support intratumor injection research, electroactivated chemotherapy research, electroactivated chemotherapy robotics, we're going to get into robotics soon. The cancer gun, I got the equipment for the cancer gun to start making that. I have the skills for the equipment to start making that. It's more of a technical art piece, but it's something to do in the winter. So go over the white paper document. So you go up to our eCoins and tokens page, and it's basically saying that these are Innovative Potential's official coins. We've made a coin collection for everyone to participate in. I want to fix this. There we go. We're gonna fix this. Good. There we go. So we made the. Okay, so we made this. So let's put this here. There you go. Okay, so this is the web page. We're on the web page. You can donate through here. These are our official coins. These are our Memecoin tokens. It's a little bit of a fundraiser. It's a little bit of a. This is how you can participate with Innovative Potential. Just sort of knowing that, you know, Innovative Potential exists. Buy a coin, keep it in your wallet, know that we exist. If and when you get a cancer diagnosis, or your friends or family get a cancer diagnosis, this is something to learn. This is something to talk about. This is something to participate in and with. A lot of it is really just like, I need people to be able to understand this wheel of cancer biology and how it operates as a disease. In sort of the real world before they get cancer, or before someone gets cancer, because now you're in the hot water situation, and now you really have to know your shit, because the more people who know their shit, the better, because you can start covering other types of mistakes and things like that. So basically, this is the official Innovative Potential coin collection, and they're designed for the meme markets and are being issued to be bound to Innovative Potential for 15 years. What does that mean is basically, I'm not changing these for 15 years. This is what they are. When you click on them, it's going to take you to the issuing website, and here's my buy-in, and then here's what the market said. It's not designed to be, it's like I said, it's designed, it goes in your wallet, and that's sort of where you are with it, and that's where it stays. So what's going on? This is the official one. It's porphyrin. Its symbol is a porphyrin. It's basically the Innovative Potential logo with the hydrogen showing on it. Because it's differentiating the logo from the coin, specifically because the coin, there's so much going on with Innovative Potential. Everything has to be like its own unique identifier within this like greater thesis ethos of this artificial enzyme. So that's kind of where we're working on. These are the hydrogens of the artificial enzyme that we're sticking on an IV pool. So the Awesome Potential is the next coin. It is just basically the logo with, it's the meme coin. We stuck a meme on it. I like the thing it kind of goes on with the it goes on with the poster with the Zazzle. It goes on with the Zazzle. It goes on with the Zazzle poster. The awesome face is one of the memes that are just sort of carrying through. I liked it. It stuck with me. It's generic enough to be adoptable, but at the same time, it is still something awful. Um, and I liked it. It's coming from the same time period as the thesis. It's coming from um, that early meme coin era, 2014 to this is 2010 to 2014 era. It's coming from there's the Lego. It fits in with the Lego song. Everything is awesome. You know, there's stuff around it built up. So that was the meme that fits canonically with innovative potential. And then we have sort of. I'm gonna shut these guys off for a second. And then we have sort of because this is difficult. Let's just okay. There we go. So then we have the 12 tokens. So there's one token produced for each of the hydrogens, and basically how they fit and relate to each of the corporations and ideologies associated with innovative potential, because this thing needs a supply line. It needs to be able to feed the supply line. It needs to be able to manufacture the supply line. It needs to be able to manufacture its own parts. It needs to be able to have a workforce that's capable of doing all of these things. It also has to be able to pay the workers. It also has to be able to have a factory. The factory workers have to be paid. The scientists have to be paid. So it's basically like, here's a small country, and here's how the small country operates, just completely floating on the internet. So we have Proton, Shoe, Imagination, Health, Agreement, Buckazoids, Burger Heaps, Nectar, Perfection, or Pink Diamond Contract, and the I Love You. And that's basically linked to the Preservation Society, Innovative Development, 7% Entertainment, the Ministry of Preventative Medicine, Innovative Financial, Starlight Review Oil and Gas Company, Colonel and Jordash's Tumor Farm, Electrochemically Activated Technologies, the Orange Heart Construction Company, the Magpie Plunge Mining Corporation, Innovative Regulation, and the Boudreaux Foundation, respectively. So basically what's going on here is, for something like innovative development, there is an explanation of the source of where this is sort of coming from within innovative potential. So how this works is, I look out into the real world. I see, for my company, I need this, 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 and this. It fits a certain type of market sector. Project planning, project management. It's like, well, what do you do when the emperor has no shoes? Well, what do you do when you don't have a cancer cure? Like, well, you got to make shoes. You have to invent the mechanism which with you make shoes with. So that's sort of where and why these two things come together, and why they make sense as a token for innovative potential, and why it's a collector's token. So the same thing goes for 7% entertainment. The lifeblood of entertainment is imagination. The people who work the entertainment industry they use imagination as a currency. And that entire industrial sector is now represented at innovative potential with the imagination box. And then the meme for the imagination box and the explanation is sort of provided here with the token. So you click the link, it takes you over to Pump Fund, and you sort of say, okay, well, this is where it is. I can buy, I can sell, I can do whatever, and move on from there, and sort of like continue on with innovative potential from there. And that's sort of how meme coins are how a meme coin can maintain its valuation when it's entering into these sort of like corporate areas. So what was really thought on this was like, okay, I can make a meme, and the meme coins are basically burnable. You make a coin, you buy the initial coin, you sort of whitewash a popular meme in front of it, and then hope other people are going to gamble with you and, win big, and then everybody goes home happy. But because these coins are now manufacturable, they are able to they basically just permanently, there's this huge graveyard of burnt out meme coins that people made, they did whatever with, and it never went anywhere. It didn't do anything. It's just dead. They're all dead in the water. But to sort of, basically, it's an analogy for the bioactivatable drugs. It's like, here are these bioactivatable molecules that are basically never going to be able to be developed into drugs, and if you can get 10 of them actually working properly, yeah, you did good. But these meme tokens are now being standardized against the world of innovative potential and 370 million people. So now you have the official Coke meme coin scenario. We have Coke's official meme coin that you turn your trader's wallet into a coin collection, looking for good memes that you want to self-identify with, and then you can show off your coin collection to other people, other traders, just like the Pokemon cards, all over, just like Pogs. Oh, we're at Pogs. We're pogging right now. So part of the Pog system is that you're able to manufacture your own Pogs. Putting a U.S. and Canadian joint licensed corporation patent for oncological medical care is making your own slammer, or the metal Pogs, and just wrecking everyone else's Pogs. That's sort of where we're at with these and innovative potential, because that's just kind of what it is. It's like, okay, well, innovative financial, if you can just boil out and distill and perfect what the entire financial sector is based on. The entire financial sector is based on decisions, choices, and agreements. But the agreements here are that you've made a decision on a choice and it's satisfactory between two people. So you do the money exchange, money for goods and services. That's not a bad thing to keep with you. That's not a bad thing to have a reminder of. And that's sort of where we go into the shop and just basically saying, okay, well, here's our tokens. Here's the eCoin collection. Go over to the eCoin section. Have your wallets ready. Go buy a couple of them and support us and help us out, because I'm not selling stock. We're not doing stock. Every company can do this. Canadian Tire can do this. Walmart can do it. Walgreens can do it. Wawa can do it. All of these companies are able to issue their own meme coin token to put in your trader wallet, but so can everyone else. The only difference is that these are on the official company website, and that makes these tickers more valuable than all the others. That's the difference here, that these are here backed by 370 million people for 15 more years. So if you want to learn about tokens, I was born in the 80s, so that's why it's 80s Love. But if you want to learn about these things, if you want to know how these things, so if you have to be in charge of a construction company, be the best construction company, because you always have room to grow. This perfection token is basically what a nuclear core looks like. So if you're a construction company that can build a nuclear reactor, it's like, holy shit, yes. We're thinking of you at basically what they're saying, we're thinking of you at innovative potential and your exposure and your risk hazards to uranium or polonium or whatever other fuel source you're going to be designing for. Because part of innovative potential starts from when the Fukushima thing blows up in 2011. So there's a lot here. There's a lot of toxicology here, and it's all supposed to be represented to some extent by means of condensing down these industrial concepts into basically 24, 37 different corporate understandings, because the supply line and the logistics for something like the Joey are very complicated. and they're very advanced supply lines because they're all made with robots. They're all made with robots right about now. The PCB board is a robot, the CNC machine is a robot, and the 3D printer is a robot. So somewhere along here, robots have to be represented. If not the perfection of the robot itself, then the ore it takes to refine the robot and build the steel to build the robot, and keep the people keep the people who build the robot fed, and trade the money to build the robot. You know what I mean? It just goes on like this. So these are the things that are valued from the outside looking into innovative potential. So if you're farming, it's like, yeah, you're feeding an army here. You know how many ancillary, do you know that the finest cuts of steak are ancillary products to a burger-based dollar? That's innovative potential. It's like, no, the byproduct of a hamburger is steak. That goes all the way back to the shop. That goes all the way back to the where's the asset? Asset creation. Goes all the way back up to asset creation, to ancillary. If I want to build a hamburger, I have to have about 14 different crops and stock ingredients just to be able to get the hamburger. And then what comes out of the hamburger is like, oh, well, my ancillary product to ground beef is steak and beef ribs, and calf liver and veal and milk and cheese, and all of this other, and glue and gelatin and leather, and you have half the world clothed and fed with a burger farm. So that's sort of the big concepts that we're always constantly dealing with at innovative potential, because it is like, no, everything, if you want to do anything, these are the big things that keep it all together and keep the fact, it's like, if you have nothing, you at least get respect for somebody else's job. You know what I mean? So that's sort of the where do I fit in? This is answering the question, where do I fit in? How can I be visualized? I'm from someplace different, but I'm going to get this disease also. How does an oil and gas company fit into innovative potential? And this is like, well, we need the oil and gas to make the plastic. Here's some plastic. It's made out of oil and gas. Or we grew it and it came off of the burger farm. Well, we grew a farm into a fully functioning veterinary oncological research facility with organic chemistry support and molecular and cellular research biology support and veterinary support and engineering support. And basically all you have to do is just do the surgery. That's kind of what that was, and that's sort of why it's so fucking hard to let it go. So this was something that we kind of came up with in the 2010, 2011 era when, okay, well, it's like you can do Bitcoin, but now everybody wants to do their own Bitcoin. And all these other branded, so like, here's Jordash's Fun Bucks. So, like, you know what I mean? Here's Jordash's Fun Bucks. What's it valuable to you? It's like, really and truthfully, it's not really valuable to anyone other than just having like a commemorative coin made to say like, okay, I passed the test of all of this. I made some money participating in trades. Most of my stuff comes from something different. But at least it's like, okay, these people, here's their lifestyle. Here's their different lifestyle pitfalls and tragedies. Here's how they're going to get like their colon cancer because they're sitting at a table all the time. They have standing desks and stuff like that. But it's like, here are all the hits that they're going to take doing this for like 40 years. And it's like, no, yeah, well, I got to make sure that this business is financed. I got to make sure that my house is financed. I got to make sure my family, my medical bills are financed. We got to make sure all this is financed and secure. So they're not only just representing a day trader, they're representing the entire like day trading industry. The entire financial industry is now summed up into basically what amounts to agreements. We agree to transfer or transport this much or create this much money at this given time to do whatever for this purpose. So there's that. And then buy some, buy some, buy some, buy some. Now you don't got to buy a lot. Buy one, buy 10, buy 250,000. They're like $10 right now. You can get 10,000. You can get 250,000 for $8 US. You know, so it's just one of those things. If you want to role play yourself on the internet, grab some heels here, and grab some heels and adventure onwards through the wide world of the internet. It rounds out innovative potential. It rounds out how innovative potential works and behaves. It provides an they always say, oh, it provides an ecosystem. I hate this part because it's like, well, it provides an ecosystem for all of your transactional trades to be able to funneled up into a stable coin and then turned into moved up to Bitcoin, moved up to whatever, because all these, there's basically 3 tiers of coin. There's your meme coins, your stable coins, and then your blockchain coins. Before you start getting into like until you start getting into like Bitcoin at the top, maybe 4 or 5, probably 5. Your meme coins, your stable coins, your blockchain coins, your corporate coins. Corporate coins aren't issued yet, but you're gonna see those. This is the first like corporate coin, and then you're gonna have your Bitcoin and national currencies. So that's sort of leading us into the future here, where innovative potential as a patent-owning corporation has issued its official tokens on the. These are all official tokens, but this is the parent token. These tokens here feed into the official token or the meme token or the official token, and then those go up into the Solana and the Bitcoin and the national currencies. That's how that's structured, because you can make so many different meme coins around and within 80s music. So all the 80s music funnels into IVO of the 80s of the Boudreaux Foundation, because the Boudreaux Foundation's innovative potential, and that's back to the trader's life. So the trader's life is actually sort of backed and guaranteed to some extent, at least not their at least so far as their education is concerned, to innovative potential directly by rights of U.S. patent and Canadian patent. So that's what's giving this clout over all of the other meme coins and opening the door for other corporations to start officiating their own meme tokens. So now you can, if you like the corporation, and that's sort of how the groups, the parties, the cabals, the link shells, whatever you want to call them, the clans, the guilds, are operating their meme coins to say, okay, here's a meme that we like. We're going to build on top of that and build a little industry around that meme coin performing, and we're going to storage our money in the meme coin that we created, and the industry progresses on as is. But when you have someone like Lockheed Martin or Johnson & Johnson or Coke or Disney issuing tokens for public trading that isn't stock, now you have a different story, because you have something that can now be converted into stock. So instead of all of these like fake, it's basically you're consolidating and cleaning up the meme coin market to say, okay, well, if everyone's going to participate, then participate officially, and we will use the official participation tokens instead of just wasting time with all of these burner fluff ones. All of the infrastructure is there for the corporations to participate in, but the difference is the corporations are like, it's like you're issuing stock without issuing stock. So now I can take my Disney Mickey Fun Buck and convert it into Disney Mickey Fun Points that I can redeem, or redeem the Mickey Fun Bucks directly at Disney World and Disneyland. That's how this works today. I can redeem these tokens at Disney, and now you have $15 billion market cap Disney coin. I can take my Mickey Fun Buck and sell it on and buy Mickey Mouse merchandise online with it. I can e-trade directly with the corporation without directly risking ownership of that corporation. So I'm not getting into trading stocks. I'm trading those air miles types of points. So we have an air mile. Imagine Air Miles or Aeroplan or whatever the hell they're calling it now, issuing their own official token, because the difference here is it's an official token from the corporation on the corporate website saying use this stock ticker because we created it ourselves. It's on our website. We say it's ours. It's our little badge. So here's our little token, and now you get free air miles. Now your air miles are convertible into the token, and the token is convertible into air miles. And the Air Miles Corporation is now looking at that saying, okay, this is the best fucking thing we've ever fucking done because we don't have to record air miles anymore. We're just going to drop the air miles point burden because it's a burden for accounting all of this and just make the Memecoin do it. So all of that collector's points is converted directly into the official Memecoin directly for use at the company level, because it's not stock. It's like taking those McDonald's points you're collecting. You take the McDonald's points and you transfer them into the McDonald's coin token, and then you use the McDonald's token forever because internally it's a burden and it's a cost to be able to support and purport this point system independent of money. So now we're just going to take McDonald's money and make it equal to the US dollar or some exchange ratio. And that's what you end up with. You end up with McDonald's issuing currency, and you're able to have your collector points converted into that currency. And then once all of those collector points are converted into the currency, McDonald's never has to have the burden of keeping track of that point system ever again, because it's counted through the banking and financial system, if it isn't already. So you're eliminating the points programs in exchange for an issued fiat currency for McDonald's, for Visa, for MasterCard. So you're able to issue points that then feed into the value of the coin. But you don't have the responsibility to maintain the infrastructure of maintaining the point system yourself. And that is a huge cost savings for these corporations. So, bam, there goes like a 25% of the workforce out of corporate McDonald's. You still have the people, manning the kitchens, manning their stations, manning their manufactories. Like, this doesn't affect the manufacturing end of it. It affects the corporate accounting side of it. So now we can just okay, so we're going to convert all of our McDonald's points directly into McDonald's coins, and have the official McDonald's coin just float across the internet. And if you want to, you can still earn points. You can kind of still earn points, but if you can manage a point system, you can manage a currency. And that's sort of where we go off into with all of this stuff, with all of these e-coins and tokens. Basically saying the future is now, and you're 10 years and you're 10, 15 years behind. So too bad. I'll turn the music back on. Now the white paper document is just basically all of the boring technical stuff of what innovative potential is, what it's for, what the market cap looks like, value proposition, your standard go to a bank and do stuff. Our initial predictions, we're right on time, so we're in the phase 1 clinical financing section of it with this Memecoin stuff, and it's straddling here 2025 and 96 months in. think it's in months. We're 96 months in at 2025 to innovative potential, and we're at phase 1 clinical financing. So this sounds about right. And then we go to human regulatory, or we go to phase 1 clinical study and human regulatory from now until 2028. Whee! And then there's, some other stuff, technology readiness level, what it looks like, what it's doing, who we worked with, just stuff for old people who really don't fucking understand why a cancer cure is good and valuable, but they still want to see the stuff that they understood and they were made to go through. So fuck the Masters of Business Administration. I've killed more of them than you currently have competing against me. So that's sort of where we're at with innovative potential. So they pay me now or they die. That's basically it. So on the shop, we got the innovative potential eCoin collection, all of this stuff. All the Masters of Business Administration people are basically out of jobs now because we've gone directly to me telling you how to run this, which none of them have ever covered in their Masters of Business Administration. They may have run a planet or anything like that, but too bad. I lied on my resume. You can go to hell for that. No, too bad. So that's sort of where we're at here. Let's see if there's anything else I can cover. Do the work yourself. It's like there is a type of explanation on the innovative potential eCoin collection at the shop page that's basically saying get your wallet. It's a free wallet. Everything is basically free except for the transaction fees. There are small transaction fees with this, but use your decisions at your discretion. And be discerned. Be an extremely discerning individual, because you will get fucked and screwed sideways in the medical doctoral sense from the professional traders and the 10-year-olds who are also professional traders because school doesn't teach you anything. So they're doing this in their free time, and you end up with something that looks like this. Basically, you end up with this type of picture. There, you end up with this picture, and if you don't watch what you're doing, you'll lose a lot of money. You'll lose your money. You'll gain money. You'll create money. You'll gain Bitcoin. But this is how stocks behave. This is how gold behaves. Gold behaves closer to Bitcoin in its performance. Gold went up $1,000 an ounce this last year, but it's behaving like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is behaving like gold. So if you're looking for things that are going to mature over time and you're going to have control over, you're not going to get locked. The difference between Bitcoin and a mutual fund is the mutual fund is like a collection of meme coin. You're going to see meme coin mutual funds within the next year being offered. So what we do is we take a proportional ownership of the meme coins from all the large trading groups and cabals and whatever, and we put them into one mutual fund, and we float them as a Bitcoin ETF or something. And that proportional ownership of all the meme, Pepe's at $3 billion market cap or something. So you're gonna have the meme coins actually stabilizing into basically like a mutual fund model. Instead of having aggregates of agriculture and oil and gas and something like that, you're gonna have a meme coin basically saying, okay, well, we're gonna take 50% of Pepe, we're gonna take some 20% of Doge, we're gonna add some we're gonna put some chill guy on there, we're gonna add in what else was trading? Rismus, we'll put a 2%, 0.02% of Rismus in there just to see what it does, and we're gonna hold it. And we're gonna have you hold it for We're gonna hold it for you for the next 7 years. You're gonna buy it in. It's gonna be like a regular finance. It's gonna be turned into a regular financial product, just like everything else during Trump's reign. Trump's presidency, whatever you want. It's a time period, tenure. during this presidency, during the next 4 years, preferably within the next 2, it's all going to get commoditized and turned into mutual funds because people are making money, and when you group it together, it still bundles together well, because when one doesn't work and behave, and then you just repeat the trading cycle over again. It's a whole new additional set of money to buy into, and it's cheaper because there's more risk. So you're going to get someone like Michael Sayer start to turn Bitcoin and put Bitcoin into regular commodity type of mutual funds to provide a de-risked growth product. So that's where a lot of this money is coming from, and where it's going to come from. I'm going to take 20 e-coins and manage the portfolio of 20 e-coins. Bitcoin is going to be 25%, it's going to be 75% Bitcoin, some Solana, some Doge, some Ethereum, stable coins. So 50% Bitcoin with 10% stable coins, and do a weight basis based on the porphyrin to get the rest of your 30, to get your 100% divided by 37 kind of thing, and then weight them proportionally. So that's going to be your basic mutual fund in a pyramid sort of shape, your big one in the middle, and then the rest is sort of like fill in the gaps on that one. And you're able to sell the entire involvement for a 7-year holding period. So I'm gonna sell you. So you're gonna pay me whatever as a licensed broker for Memecoin mutual funds, and then I'm gonna hold your money for 7 years in this account, guarantee that it's held in this account and in this power structure for 7 years. And after 7 years, you're gonna see the ticker go up, and you're gonna have money then when you put in. That's the completely de-risked financial package, financial system. So you don't know shit when I own leverage over your life as a Masters of Business Administration. So that's basically everything from Innovative Potential. We have already basically done that with Innovative Potential. Going back to Innovative Potential is, yeah, we've done that with Innovative Potential. That's what the e-coins are. So when you come over to Innovative Potential, this is basically the starting of an e-coin, mutual fund. This is the Innovative Potential e-coin mutual fund. Ha 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 ha. We're diversifying our ownership of these meme stocks here, backing them with Innovative Potential against the unbacked memes. So we're killing off the effervescent memes, consolidating the memes, and then putting them into these different meme categorical families. So all of your food memes are going into Burger Heap. All of your energy memes are going into Buckazoids. Anything that has anything to do with financial or stocks are going into agreements. Anything that has to do with health or well-being or even diseases or something like that. So COVID coins are going into the Ministry of Preventative Medicine and financing you that way. So all of this is all working to value and increase the pyramid scheme that is Innovative Potential, because I own everything and you're building me one. So that's basically how that works on this. And this is basically the broken down mutual funds, because all of this INPO money then goes into our Joey Fi model, that basically you're dying without at a rate of about 2,000 people per day in this much geography. So these videos get hostile really fast because I was expecting that this type of statistics to be recognized by the states themselves, to basically say, okay, here's the NIH, here's a small little laboratory, get your shit done and shut the fuck up about it, and you have 6 weeks to do it because I'm not paying for anything more than a summer internship for you. Here's food, travel, hotel and accommodations, and if you don't produce the result you want, fuck you, goodbye. I'm like, yes, holy shit, I am. You're 15 years behind on that, you fucking worthless son of a bitch. That's how fast this is supposed to work for this type of stuff. If not having already done it already with the preview version I've already released publicly. No, instead we're clocking 670,000 deaths a year, and bitching and complaining at Trump because we don't have a patent concierge because you have a policy that a U.S. company has to have 51% U.S. citizen ownership to be able to do anything. But you're too fucking stupid to do anything. You are legally too fucking stupid to get a license because no one has approached Innovative Potential for a license, despite just hammering the White House and shitting on the NIH and the NSF. So nobody cares and nobody gives a fuck, but I own everything. It feels good to say that, but it sucks dick balls to have to get up to that point where it's like, no. 157 million people died since the demonstration version was released publicly 15 years ago. You're not fucking paying attention to the stuff that's important. So anyway, yeah, that's the world we live in, and that's innovative potential, and that's sort of the world without innovative potential. It affects you, it affects your lives, it affects other governments. It's a huge tax sort of like intake, but the promise of, so basically in the States, $32 trillion for keeping 600,000 people alive every year for 20 years is quite significant in terms of an economy. Shut the fuck up, Mr. President. You're ragging on my balls again because you're so fucking old and worthless. That's that kind of money. I'm gonna put $32 trillion in the hands of the United States to cure everyone's cancer for the next 20 years, and you're not even on a fucking first name basis with me. Don't tell me your government functions. Don't. So yeah, you can pay me directly with these wallets. And if you can't, your government's gonna kill you, I guess. That's kind of like, that's literally where we're at. If you can't pay me directly through innovative potential, like posted tokens and wallets, your government's probably too stupid to fucking save your life. That's it. That's the law. That is the law. Your government's too stupid to save your life. Fuck off and abandon them. Become better. It's 2024. Fuck's sakes. You just get stupid. Because you just get stupid. It just gets stupid like this. You're not. It's like. How do I say this? It's like you're not a superpower any longer because you're fucking dicking around in Ukraine and Jerusalem and all these other like places with regular war and losing these massive intellectual wars. For 15 years you've had no developments with basic fucking bumblebees. You can make a nickel that has a picture of a bumblebee on it, and you can get 5 bees for a quarter and have that freely traded to support the value of your dollar. And it's just like, well, we don't value. It's like, well, then this is a limitation of my knowledge because I don't fucking understand anything beyond this point. Because this is just basically where it just gets like stupid. It's like it only exists if you want it to exist. Well, why do people pay taxes? Because they want it to exist. Well, the taxpayers are dying. You're documenting the proof that the taxpayers are dying, and I'm saying here, like, hey, National Institutes of Health director, you could be like not as retarded as you are and learn this type of stuff and teach this type of stuff to your universities. University Intellectual Transfer Office, buy a license, teach your kids at the exclusion of everyone else in the country. offer these special programs through your universities, through your public infrastructure. Nobody. They're fucking retarded up here. They are now bad for business for their own business. So instead, you're selling Dogecoin, hoping it's going to go over $1 because everything else is fucking worthless. Solana trades at $200 a piece. Bitcoin is 139. Bitcoin is 139,000 Canadian dollars, or 100,000 US dollars, which means $1 in the US is worth 10 to the minus 5 of whatever the fuck a Bitcoin is. Why the fuck are you trading in US dollars? Why are you buying groceries in US dollars? Because what you have, well, exchange them for something better. Exchange them for Doge. Exchange them for porphyrins. That's what this fucking planet turned into. It's like fucked. Or you live out in the farm and you don't have internet and you don't have an education greater than a fucking 13-year-old. But everyone gets to vote. So it's just like, oh well, isn't that something special? No, you're getting fucking decimated. You chose not to be educated and you've been wiped off the face of the earth and enslaved about 4 fucking times in the last decade. Anyway. That's where innovative potential is at. We've minted our own currency. You can buy some currency. You can trade it online. It's representative of basically a natural biological source found in every living plant and animal on the face of the earth since the dawn of fucking time. And it's going to help you stay alive a little bit longer. So my profits from this go directly to pay for innovative potential, to pay for your intratumor injection equipment, to pay to get your surgeons and oncologists educated to the point where they understand what the fuck a porphyrin is. Because honestly, a lot of them don't. It comes in their education packages, but if they're not specializing it, it doesn't even like process mentally. And this picture, wherever that one went, I don't have that one up there. So this picture here is part of my meme folder, but this picture is basically what we're sort of beating around the bush at. Gotta switch over here. So this one here is basically this one. Oh, this one up. Did this come up? No. Okay, so it doesn't register. Anyway, it doesn't register. It's one of those things from. It doesn't register. It was the electrochemistry and P450 synergy model where it spits out the boning my ex-girlfriend picture. It's a commemorative coin for the day I lost my virginity. Built the cancer cure out of it. So that's sort of the the roundabout on that one. But the point is, it's like a lot of people haven't actually done anything ever about anything, and that's clogging the system so badly because now you have 8 billion people that have never done anything ever. So invest in innovative potential, invest in mutual funds sponsored by innovative potential, and start basically consolidating the meme coins, start making new financial products to sell to the boomers that are going to be able to be sold to meme coin. Oddly enough, meme coins are going. The Memecoin mutual fund is going to be more stable than the housing market bullshit that they pulled in 2007. So we're still floating around that 2007 to 2014 technology era bubble. The only thing that comes out after that is basically confirmations of some of the AIDS anti-cancer work, which isn't bad. grateful for that. You get like 7 years out of, you know, some of them you get 7 years out of. Cheers to that work. But you still have doctors fucking up, learning how to read MRIs and CT scans and not treating the patient appropriately, and basically deserving of malpractice lawsuits and trials against them, kicking them out of practice and sending them to veterinary school to learn how to do it right. So no, there is no fuck off for that, because that's basically where you're supposed to start from. For something complicated, you don't know your ass from the hole in the ground. For something this complicated, where's my cancer biology? Something this complicated. As the attending and administrating physician, you still don't understand all the 24 moving parts. And then how those 24 moving parts take a stage 4 diagnosis and end up with a stage 10. You end up with 10 stages of cancer before you die. Because there is some, okay, we'll do that one then. We'll do the cancer thing. Switch back. Hold on. There's actually like 10 stages of cancer when you sit down and think about this type of stuff. And it never gets reported and brought out because people are just like scared shitless of, oh no, I have like death disease, but nobody really sits down and says, okay, no. You know, you gotta use your imagination a little bit and learn something that you haven't really learned in forever. I think this is it. Yeah, the stages of death and cancer. So the stages of death and cancer, you have your basically stage 0 is there's something wrong with them, but you can observe them. But jump over here. So basically, this is also going to be covered in this one. So you have the stages of death and cancer. Let's move this over a bit more. You have the stages of death and cancer. So stage 1 is stage 1. I'm not going to read these off because I'm just tired of saying the word cancer. By the time you get, what's the difference between 4 and 5? So 5 is basically increases in non-primary tumor volume and tumor constituent heterogeneity. What the hell does that mean? It's basically your tumor, your metastases get larger, and they now have different types of cancers within them. So you fucked up your basic treatment, and your metastases are mutating on you. So that's actually common in certain lung and colon cancers, where the metastases mutate and create other types of cancers. It's not just a uniform. Not that the cancer isn't bad enough. It's not that cancer isn't bad enough. It's that the metastases of the cancers have mutated and created other cancers within the tumors that were metastasized. So now you have like a double layer factorial of cancer, and you're still talking about stage 4, not making the mental association that stage 5 gets treated differently than stage 4. And then you have stage 6, where it's like, okay, well, if you end up with like heterogeneous stage 5 and then you treat it and the treatment fails, that's stage 6. You've treated it, you fucked it up, you've made it worse, and your stage 4, the difference between stage 5 and 6 is that stage 5 might not be drug resistant. By the time you get to stage 6, you've proven that they are drug resistant. So now you're getting into like 7, 8, 9, and death, and so at stage 7. Stage 6 has a 15-month window. So if you can't cure this or beat it into remission within 15 months, or if you do, anything after 15 months is now considered a remission. And if you make it to 5 years, then it's like a cure. So we beat it into remission, and then we cured it because we haven't had to do anything for 5 years. But after 5 years, it's considered like an extension and a new cancer at the same time. So by the time you get to stage 6, if you've treated it once already within 15 months, it's stage 6, because now you're getting into death. Now you're going down your like slope. So stage 7 is now where you're getting a 35% reduction in organ function and or physiological processes, either whole body or in an individual organ and or process. So something's shutting down, we can't get a handle on it, and we're seeing like organ failure. So this is where you get stents put into your stomach to drain lymphatic and edema in your torso type of things. You're getting stents put into your colon because your colon can't process food and the patient's too weak to be able to like. We're in pre-palliative type of waters with stage 7. We're looking at we're still looking to treat and we're still looking to cure, but the tools to cure are very low, and this is where intertumor injection really kind of shines, because if you can put a portal from their stomach to their outside and have it drip into a bag, you can do a fucking intertumor injection, you worthless hack. So then you have multiple, so then at stage 8 is now you're kind of like, okay, well now you have this organ function, and then you have it like getting worse on top of that. So you have multiple recalcitrant heterogeneic vascularized tumor sites with evidence of drug resistance and failing patient health, because you can be within this like one organ shut off, but if you have general type of patient health failure beyond what you were seeing, this is more sort of like there are large tumors in every organ of the body, and we don't know it. This is where intertumor injection really shines, because it's like we're just gonna kill everything and shut it down if we can. It might not work. It might not work every time, because this is like a burning hydra as a disease. So doesn't matter if you love the person or not. The person is killing the person is killing the person themselves, and you need like beyond A-star staff to know what they're doing. And if they don't have that fucking cancer map in their fucking brains working to cure, you're working to cure. Why is that so fucking difficult? Because it's actually this. But when you're not having these conversations with people, it's like, well, you have to have these conversations with you have to update all your fucking like feel good pamphlets, because the doctor's gonna fuck up and kill you. Right? No. This is what we know, this is what we're doing, this is what we have the capability of. If I can stick a friggin' catheter in your coronary artery in the middle of fucking nowhere at a hospital that services 80,000 people, I can do a fucking intertumor injection for every single fucking patient. So at stage 9, you're at organ failure and organ system shutdowns. You're on the machines. You're guaranteed to be on the machines if you haven't been on the machines at stage 8. And stage basically 7, 8, or 8, 9, and 10 are basically machine assisted. You're guaranteed to be on some type of like permanent IV drip, or if not dialysis or something. This is applicable with the new immune drugs, because the immune drugs are softer in concomitant sort of administration with the cytotoxic agents. So there's a lot kind of there, but you still have to be you can cure without intertumor injection anywhere from sort of 2 to 6. 2 to 6 stages. 2 to 6 will get you a cure. Stage 7 is you are legally obligated at stage 7 to do an intertumor injection at least once, and before then, like by stage 3, you're doing intertumor injections. And you do intertumor injections from stage 3 all the way, like almost kind of past. You can almost do past that. You can 11. So this goes into like death and grief for everyone, because it is one gigantic sort of like downhill continuum. If you fail to cure, But stage 9 is organ failure and organ failure shutdown, and stage 10 is clinical death. So you're not really getting into palliative until 8, 9, well, 8 and 9, you're not really, they die at 10, but this is like the clinical death, legal definition, and they are clinically dead, they're brain dead. If you pull them off the machines, you get a death certificate. That is stage 10. Stage 11, because you're not dead yet, right? That's where the wacky world of science comes in. It's like, no, technically you're not dead by stage 10. You might be clinically dead, but you're not biologically dead, because you basically stay alive at the cellular level. You can do salvage operations for the cellular level, tissue information, cloning, genetic information, almost up to 2 weeks after death, after clinical death. You're still alive for almost 2 weeks. It's sort of why you sit shiv on like Jewish funerals. That type of biological tissue capture is still available. You can clone someone after they're clinically dead because their cells are still alive. That's stage 11. You're not clinically alive. The person's gone. The person, the personality, the love, the chemical bag factory you've grown attached to for your entire life isn't going to reanimate itself and come back. But if you want to have a cell line immortalized of that person, they're still alive to do this type of work. And that is one of those types of like, well, if we can compress someone into a diamond, we can, immortalize this. We can take a cell line, we can take a cell sample and freeze it for them. And well, you gotta keep it frozen and all of that. But the point is, they're still biologically alive. We can still do a genetic karyotype of them post-mortem as part of a type of autopsy, if you want. There's still biologically relevant information to be obtained and used. How and why you use it is a different story, but this right here is sort of the it's not over till it's over kind of thing, right? It's what makes letting go difficult, because it's like, they're still chemically and biochemically processing themselves after they've been, clinically dead. So this is why you can like resurrect a mammoth and get mammoth DNA and do mammoth DNA karyotyping. You're only physiologically dead. You haven't experienced chemical death. So then there's physiological death at 11, and then chemical death at 12. At stage 12, at stage 12 cancer, you will experience chemical death, where no direct physicality of an individual is left coherently intact. So this is something like cremation. Cremation, they are chemically dead. We're not getting any biochemical DNA information after they're cremated. They're dead. They've been in the ground. They've turned into a soap mummy. They've fully decomposed. There might be some preserved tissue, but that tissue will not, like, you might have hair, but you're not going to get biochemical information off of it. You could get protein and heavy metal analysis out of it, but if they're buried in the ground without a coffin or without the cement sarcophagus kind of situation, then they will have then they'll have natural biological decomposition. You might find, like, you might even have the skeleton be completely like removed and and the tufts of hair blew away on the wind, right? So there's no chemical information. You just have information that there was a person or an animal or a tree or something there. You have a nutrient deposit there, basically, what we're saying. And then there's informational death at stage 13, which is no direct evidence of an individual's life and or existence, no objects and or personal effects. It's sort of like if a tree falls in the woods, you know, there's still evidence showing that the tree was there. There's different growth, even if it's completely decomposed and gone, the other trees have grown up. And it's sort of like saying, well, or there's evidence of those other trees growing, but it's like, well, informational death is that the trees are the trees of the trees. Like, you can go 400 years in the future and there's no evidence that this one tree stood there. The forest is still intact, so there's something, but there's no actual, like, you know, I was gonna say oak tree. This oak tree once stood here. No, it didn't. It's sort of like the information is gone completely. There's no chemical. There's no nitrogen or carbon deposit for you to even like understand that there was something, not a rock there. You know what I mean? And then finally there's stage 14, which is absolute death. There's no primary, secondary, or tertiary evidence that an individual existed. No one can ever know again that you ever actually existed. So that's kind of like weird. That's kind of weird when you go through these like toxicological grief stagings where it's like, no. With cancer, it's just like, no, you just keep dying. There's just like levels of like lack of information. So, like the absolute death, it's like, we don't know if you existed or not. That's absolute death. It's like, we don't actually, did you ever exist? Were you ever born? Because all of the people around you, or all of the forest around you, or like we had the Earth fly off of its axis into Jupiter or something. It was never seen or heard from ever again. And then Jupiter's clouds re-swirled, and we don't know if Jupiter, you know, blinked an eye or not that your planet was destroyed. You know what I mean? Like, it's that type of like completely, that information is completely gone. Like how the dinosaur species in wet regions, there might be like 100 million species in the Amazon forest, but you'll never know all of them because they weren't preserved. They were just like absorbed and gone, observed, decomposed, eaten, and turned into 47 different other species within the span of 100 generations. So you don't know that these morphologies ever exist. They might have, but they would have existed mathematically, but not with any evidence of physicality. So that's sort of absolute death. You can still exist mathematically in the future, but you're not going to end in the past. But currently, right now, there's no evidence of your existence. So that's sort of what you kind of like look at. That's what you come to understand with toxicology is here. It's like, okay, no. Your person, your patient, your animal, your whatever is going to go through about... cancer itself has about 10 stages until you die. And you're only mentally prepared to treat 4 of them because your entire industry only ever talks about 4 cancer stages. That's not even half of the fucking system. That's not even fucking... That's not half of the reality. You are not developing drugs for the other 60% of the disease. That's how much you're fucking failing here. And it's the oldest disease since fucking Prometheus. It's the oldest disease since fucking Prometheus, and you still can't publicly talk about anything beyond 40% knowledge of it. Anyway, so you can basically resurrect anything informationally as long as you don't get to like stage 13. Because at chemical death, you still have like as long as you don't hit stage 14 death universally, you can resurrect someone. You can cure them and resurrect them. There's no issue there. It's like cure my robot grandpa. I know he existed once is completely legitimate to just like bam, they're back. You can clone them. You can epigenetically refine them. You can get the personality. You can get the personality, you can get the phenotype, you can get the ancillary information to reconstruct in absentia the dead or missing person in a biological form through a series of robotics, personality algorithms, and cloning, and some epigenetic stuff within a year time frame at the current technology level of 2024. That's where we're at today as of this thing. I could resurrect my dead robot grandpa and then cure his cancer. So that's sort of like, yeah, you put his reconstructed genetic sequence and epigenetic modifications, because certain epigenetic modifications in certain locations are going to behave under a certain like knowable variable, and then you basically put those cells on some robotic scaffolding until the person grows back and they have their like personality and interfaces and all the other smells and wonderful things that they did. Or you make them 20 years younger. You make yourself 20 years younger. That's the mechanism. Cure my robot grandpa. I know he existed once, and as long as you're never in stage 14 absolute death, everything else is reversible and curable. So that's that. That's what we're talking about. Immortality by 2025. Because I can. Get the fuck out of my way. Give me all your money, and that's what we want. We want our immortal robot personality machine. Why is it so fucking difficult? Anyway, that's the world of innovative potential, and if you're not in it, you're gonna die a horrible death. Anyway, everybody else lives forever, and that's kind of how it works. One more thing. These security key tokens, they're fun. There's no wallet associated with it, but it is a nice little piece of extension. It's like an extension of these here. It sort of says that a physical person needs to be physically addressed with the piece of equipment, and if you want to have your world of yesterday really truly manifested, you're gonna have to go through that piece of like, no, you have to physically touch and signify as the owner person of the account that I am a person, owner of the account, not just it's not quite biometrics, but it's just saying that you're there. It's a non-identifier biometric, saying that I am here, I am present, I am not just a computer algorithm doing things electronically. There is an outside the computer interface that is required for proper functioning, and that's sort of the real like narrowing in on the whole like tech talk thing here. That there has to be a physical person interacting with the computer digital interface to be able to exist in a hands-free environment, we'll say. So that's sort of, you take all your technology, boom, and then you make it beautiful, and you make it fabulous, and you make it fantastic, and you put that artwork and you put that design into it beyond the cell phone, and then you have these like nice little you have these nice little token bombalieres acting as the debit cards, acting as the credit cards. It's fashionable, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's lovely. We do it for other stuff. We do it for plastics. We do it for small, clever little things. And it's a wonderful and beautiful world to live in. Onwards and upwards. And twirling towards the future, as I said. But that's the world of innovative potential. That's the minimum technology buy-in levels for our Memecoin mutual funds at Innovative Potential. So check those out again. Participate with us. Because you're probably going to die without us. The ever ray of sunshine that we are. I am Jordash Boudreaux. Basically the god of innovative potential. Telling you to help me, help you, help me, help you, help you, help me, help you. Live forever. Live forever with innovative potential. Good night.